I did some other interview where someone asked me about The Last of Us and would there be any more stories or something. And I mentioned, like, you know, we have written a story that takes place after Last of Us 2 that stars Tommy. And I hope one day we get to make it.
Hey everyone, welcome back to gaming. Today we have a big topic to discuss, the future of The Last of Us Part 3. There have been some interesting statements from Neil Druckmann that may shed light on whether or not we'll ever see another entry in this iconic series. So let's dive right into it. According to Neil Druckmann, the mastermind behind The Last of Us, a recent interview with Variety brought up an interesting point while discussing the Last of Us TV series and its upcoming second season. In the midst of the conversation, a crucial question emerged: will The Last of Us Part 3 ever happen? And from Druckmann's response, the answer is far from certain. When asked directly about a possible third installment, Druckmann sighed before replying, "Don't bet on there being more Last of Us. This could be it." And honestly, he might be right. We can't take for granted that The Last of Us Part 3 will ever exist. Every great story has its natural cycle, and at some point, it reaches a conclusion. As much as fans may want another chapter, it's possible that the narrative has already run its course. Of course, the ending of The Last of Us Part 2 left a few doors slightly open. But this is a common strategy in major franchises, keeping certain possibilities available without necessarily confirming a continuation. A semi-open ending allows room for a sequel if needed, but it also works as a definitive conclusion. Another major factor to consider is that Naughty Dog is currently focused on its next big project, Intergalactic. The studio is dedicating all its resources to this new IP, and Druckmann may not want to shift attention away from it. It's clear that, at least for now, he wants the audience to embrace this new direction instead of clinging to the past. But there's also another possibility. Druckmann might simply be tired of the series. After spending years developing The Last of Us, he could feel the need to explore new creative avenues. Additionally, internal discussions within Naughty Dog may have influenced this uncertainty about the franchise's future. The planned multiplayer spin-off of The Last of Us was recently cancelled, suggesting that not everything is running smoothly within the studio. Another potential reason why The Last of Us Part 3 remains uncertain is the backlash received by Part 2. Given the divided opinions surrounding the second game, Sony might consider handing over the project to a new creative director, instead of leaving it in Druckmann's hands. That way, the franchise could take a fresh approach while maintaining its legacy. At the moment, Druckmann only seems willing to discuss The Last of Us in relation to the TV series. Whenever the topic of a new game comes up, he carefully avoids giving a definitive answer. So we should take his words with caution. His statements could be a strategic move or an honest reflection of where the studio stands. It's also worth noting that Intergalactic, which is supposed to be Naughty Dog's next big thing, hasn't exactly blown people away. The trailer, despite being for a major new IP, has only gathered 2.5 million views, which isn't an overwhelming success for a studio of this caliber. Additionally, many fans were disappointed, expressing their concerns in the comment section and disliking the video. Unlike previous Naughty Dog projects that captured players' attention from the very first reveal, Intergalactic seems to have fallen flat for many. Personally, I enjoyed the 80s-inspired aesthetic of the trailer, but beyond that, it didn't leave much of an impression on me. The small snippet of gameplay shown didn't reveal anything groundbreaking, and I completely understand why some fans are struggling to get excited about it. That being said, Sony is unlikely to let go of such a valuable franchise. Even if Druckmann eventually leaves Naughty Dog, the company could still move forward with The Last of Us Part 3 under a new director. Naughty Dog has seen leadership changes before, and sometimes fresh creative perspectives can reinvigorate a franchise. So, what does the future hold for The Last of Us Part 3? Right now, it's impossible to say for sure, but one thing is clear. If Intergalactic fails to make an impact, Naughty Dog may be forced to reconsider its stance on revisiting The Last of Us. So, what do you think? Do you believe we'll ever see The Last of Us Part 3, or do you think the franchise should be left as it is? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.